Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hope we're all doing good today.
Easiest
Welcome
day
to
over here. What I was gonna say, what are we doing?
today is the next lesson of the free JavaScript bootcamp. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you. Jess and I are running this free bootcamp, which you can catch up on if you're keen on it. If you go to youtube.com/@badwebsiteclub, you can find all of the recordings of our live streams, including being in a playlist that I need to update this week.
But not this
Um,
weekend.
Not this weekend. No, I will be napping. Oh, hey everybody. Oh, all of the info you can find here on badwebsite.club. Thank you, Jess. And lastly, by joining this bootcamp, you agree to abide by our code of conduct, bit.ly/at. Let me try that again. bit.ly/BWC-COC. If you see anything out of sorts, please let Jess and myself know. And I think that's everything.
And today we're gonna have a very short little lesson. And as a spoiler, the homework for this weekend is going to be to rest.
We've been covering so much. This is the end of our third week now.
Is it third?
We've
Is it
been,
fourth? Is it third?
I think it's
Third.
third. I
Third?
think it's third.
Third.
Feels like more.
Right? Not that no, for me it feels like we've just started.
Not in the way that we don't enjoy spending time with y'all. On the contrary, feels like
But
I've known y'all and enjoyed spending time with you for ages. Sorry.
No. Let's zip through this. Let's give folks their time back. So we're going to talk about. Okay. So here it says function parameters can be initialized with default values.
Yeah.
And I was going to guess what this means, but it says if a function is called without an argument, then the default value will be used. I think this feels like alt text in images. And I think this feels like
Hmm.
fallback fonts, and I think this feels like, so, like, we've learned a lot of concepts that feel like this, right?
Yes. So here's the thing. When you call a function, let me define a function here. Function. Hello, friend name. You can console log to have it say hello, and then friend name. Now, if I call this hello function without an argument,
You'll get a boop
right?
boop,
We won't get a boop boop. We'll get a undefined.
which is it's not an error, it's just like a, "Yeah, I got nothing for you. We don't know what you're talking about."
Exactly. If you put in the argument, then it'll use it. But what if you want to have a function where you can have a default value for that parameter, i.e., meaning you can say, well, if I don't get a value, just go with pals.
So this example you've chosen as well makes a lot of sense because this is saying if you have a pop-up where you give your, user the chance to input their name, and
Yeah,
they decide not to, you might wanna give them a default, like, "Hello, lovely," just so you're not like,
exactly,
"Hey."
exactly,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
This
Right.
was a
So
re
this is going to be a fallback. Exactly.
a fallback. Okay, so it's like a back pocket value. So, "Hey,
I like
I've
that.
given you a secret little value." It's not that secret. "I've given you a value to use just in case." I always keep a 5-pound note in my wallet just in case I need something to fall back on, and this is our fiver in the back of a wallet.
Yeah. Perfect. So as you can see, I did it in a function, but you can also do it with arrow functions, and that's going to be the goal of our exercise today. Our
Alright.
first exercise today, rather. So
Okay.
y-
Okay. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
yep. So this function set player cards takes an argument, or sorry, a parameter called r, which is an array. And if we don't pass in an array, then it'll take the value of players by default.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So here, just based on the human readable names here, I think that this function, which we're setting as a const because we're using the arrow function, I think this is going to
Correct?
set up the cards for us. And here I'm saying, look, if I haven't explicitly told you to use a different array, just use the array of players we've got here.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect. Cool. So that looks good. Let's see if the code agrees. It does. So we'll pat ourselves on the back, pat, pat, and we'll keep going. Now, we're going. You are wonderful, Jess. So we are inside our set player cards function now, and we're going to use a new function called map.
Okay.
Now, or have we used map? I don't think we have.
I don't think we've used map. We've used the other one that makes a copy of the
Filter.
array. What's that? Filter.
Oh, no. You're talking about the spreading of the array.
So I remember spread. Does map take the array and make a new array with the same content?
Kinda.
Okay.
Map.
We might have done it then.
No. This is super cool. Let's console log players real quick. Console log. So I'm outside my function. Oh, we have used map.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. I love when I get to be right because this is like the second time. But I
I
remember that
love
was
it.
really familiar. So like, map was like we take a look at the array that we've specified. And then
Yep.
map says, "Oh, let's go ahead and have another." Yeah. And it's the
It's
same values, but we
yes, in a
can
way.
do 2 different things with it.
So a map is kind of like it's like a transformation of an array, right? It's a method that's available on an array. So players, for example, has a method called map that takes as an argument a callback. Now, whatever this callback does, so we iterate through each of them, it's going to return and create a new array out of whatever this return value is. And Mitch and Mehmet, thank you so much for reminding us. We did do this in the music player. Always good to have a review, I find. And that's on me for having bad memory. So what I've done here, for example, is I've used map to get every single player name. Well then, let's come back here. So we will be adding the map function to R. So r.map. That will
Okay.
take an empty callback function. Whoops. Okay.
So we're doing an arrow function inside of our function, and that's what makes a callback function. A function and a function is a callback. Generally.
Yes.
Cool.
And we will use that map to with player cards dot inner HTML to plus equals what this map returns.
Okay. I'm a little
Yes, what we're
suspicious,
saying,
but like it's 2024. I'm suspicious of everything. So
very fair.
I believe you. I'm just interested to see what that feels like. Oh, and
So it
it
looks
feels like
good.
a green stripe.
Pat, pat. Let's keep going. Folks, if you have any questions, also bring them in and we'll do a little Q&A at the end.
Okay, so okay, so
So
we're gonna
go ahead.
we learned about this yesterday. Okay. So
Mhm.
the array because R has objects that has a bunch of different values, a bunch of different properties,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to use this object destructuring to
Yep.
unpack them into variables. Okay. So
Correct.
say, hey, look, all of these objects have a whole bunch of different properties. Let's go ahead and boom, 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 throw all of these into variables. This seems
Yep.
like kind of a roundabout way to do this, but I respect it.
So what we're going to be doing here, remember, this array consists of a series of players. And those
Yes.
players have name, position, number, is captain, and nickname as properties. Now, just like when we're assigning something using destructuring, we can do that in parameters as well. So in r.map, instead of doing player and then, I don't know, const name equals player dot name, we can instead do that all the way up here right away with destructuring.
Okay.
See that?
I see it.
So we can do that for name, position. What's the next one? Number is captain and nickname.
Number captain.
Number is captain and nickname.
And we could set all of these individually as new variables.
Yeah.
This is just a different way, which of course there's
Correct.
multiple different ways to do the same thing. But also this is a lot less verbose. This is a lot less wordy. This is tighter and faster.
Correct. Perfect. So let's do that. Check our code. We'll hit that, and we'll keep going.
I caught myself doing a pat pat at work. You've broken me.
Oh no, it's wonderful. It's such a good motivator for me.
So inside the
Um,
body of the callback function, that means,
yep.
oh, it put us in the right place. So that's inside the function in our function.
So we'll need
Okay.
template literals.
And that's the back ticky thing. Yeah.
Yep,
And we're going to
perfect.
make a div. And this is us writing our HTML and our JavaScript. And we had a really great point yesterday that said, hey, cool. When do we want a question we had yesterday? When do we want to write HTML in our HTML? And when do we want to do it in our JavaScript? And we only want to do it in our
Mhm.
JavaScript when it needs interactivity, when it needs to change.
Correct.
I think I'm ready.
So, looks good. Pat, pat. Great. So inside that div, we'll have an h2 which contains a name. And we'll add
Okay.
that name from our name of our player. So h2, h2, and inside there we'll have the name using this expression.
And we only have to say name because earlier up here, we've specified that we're talking about what's in. So,
The player object.
yeah. So so let's look at row 186. So these are the player
Yep.
cards are in HTML. And here we're saying plus equals. This is set. We're adding the contents of are mapped over. So looking at it, and then each of the not values, well, they are values, but each of the
Object.
properties,
Oh yeah.
each of the properties of the object are being assigned to a variable here. So
Correct.
name automatically points at the name for the player in the array that's been mapped.
Exactly. Perfect. Let's see whether free code camp agrees. It does. Pat, pat.
Nothing's wrong.
The next step would be to display the word captain next to the player if they're listed as a captain. So right next to name, we'll have a new embedded expression. So another one of these. Now we'll use ternary. So we know this.
Do we?
Is
Really?
captain. Oh yeah, I feel real good about this. I'm just going to split this up into a couple lines. I hope free code camp lets me. So is captain question mark string captain in brackets. If they're not a captain, an empty string.
Okay.
We feel okay about this?
Do other people feel okay about this?
So what we're doing is using the ternary operator. Ooh, Mehmet saying, hey, should we use that return statement? I bet we will because we have curly brackets. But I hope we do.
Oh, no, because no, I'm going to get Mehmet back right here because it says, if so, return captain. So I think we might need to return captain and empty. Oh, will this automatically return it the way it's written?
Oh, yes, this is fine. Mehmet was referring to the template literal up here with the map.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Sorry.
I think we'll need to add. No, no, no. You're good. I think we will need to add it, but we'll see. So let's type that in the meantime. So below our H2 element, so new line here, we'll have a paragraph element, which I know to be P,
And
with the
then,
text position. Oh, sorry.
yep, position, and then we'll need the $ curly babies again. Oh gosh, do you know what? I had a nightmare the other day that one of our learners came to me and was like, "I said curly babies in an interview," and everybody laughed. So I should probably
Oh
stop saying them.
no,
And nobody would.
no,
Oh,
it's
no good boss would laugh. If this
yeah.
does ever happen to you, please tell me, and I'll show up at their office and shake them. Oh, so this is gonna feel exactly the same. I would copy and paste
Mhm.
this, but I'm lazy.
I'm lazy, so I don't.
Oh,
Pat pat. Okay, and now with a nickname.
same
Maybe I will
vibe,
copy
yeah.
paste this.
Yeah, yeah.
Nickname, nickname.
I would argue so if I were writing this program, uh,
Mhm.
I'd say to not show nickname unless there's a nickname, the same way we've done with captain. But oh,
Nickname, colon. Oh, oh, hold on. Look, it didn't tell me to do this.
because yeah, yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. I don't know why.
Uh,
Oh, gotcha. We got to check that it's not null.
and do you know what we could do? Can
Mhm.
we not just go gank our is captain code and use the same thing for nickname?
You're absolutely right.
Um, it's often misattributed to Einstein, but almost all quotes are. Um, but said like, "Oh, the best way to find it, I will always give a job to a lazy person because they'll find the best way to do it." Um,
There we go. So if the nickname exists or it's not null, if it's truthy, then show that nickname. Otherwise, show an A that's not available, right?
not applicable, not available. I always in my head are just like, "Nah."
Oh, I'm stealing that. Nah.
The map
So
method.
we'll return a new array of player card items separated by commas. Cool. To remove the commas, so it does not show up on the screen, chain the join method to the map method. Pass an empty string as the argument for the join method. That makes sense because right now this map gives us an array. So if we try to make that inner HTML, it's going to show a bunch of commas.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do
Okay.
here is call dot join with an empty string.
Okay. So yeah, instead of the commas, this is
Cool.
and I can't tell if this is Free Code Camp being merciful and giving us something a little bit less scary.
Mhm.
It's your fantastic teaching, or maybe altogether we're just getting a little bit better at JavaScript bit by bit. This seems like it hurts a lot less than it could.
I'm feeling real good myself. So we will now make it so that it updates those players. So players drop down list dot add
Add
event
event
listener
listener.
for the change event
Oh, the
and an empty callback.
change. We haven't done change yet.
Actually, we did when we were
Ah.
doing the date formatter.
I definitely skipped that one because it didn't look fun, and because I was
It
speaking
was
in
actually
confidence.
that's super fun. It was actually pretty fun. I thought
Was it?
I like dates.
You're far too positive. So, a callback, so a function in our function, and pass it E as a parameter. Ooh,
Cool.
is this sort of a default thing like I for iterable?
Uh, Monica, if you have any questions, please feel also free to ask them in Discord.
Yeah, we're always around. I am being really mean and making Ramon take the weekend off. So we might get back to a Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your questions.
Um, but sorry, you were saying about E. I kind of got
So,
got
you know how
distracted.
if you're doing a loop,
Yeah.
oftentimes you'll use I as sort of the standard iterable
Mhm.
variable. Is that true for E as well? Is this one we'll see again and again?
Yeah, so when we have these event listeners, we get as a parameter an E object, and this is an event. In fact, if I console log E, I have no idea what I'm going to see, but let's find out. Let's change. Interesting.
Oh.
No
Oh.
idea what that means,
Right?
but let's find out. Cool. Pat pat.
I love how like, "We have no idea what this is. It's so cursed." Pat, pat.
Ooh, so
Ah,
console log e.target.value. Let's find
okay.
out. Ooh.
Oh,
So we're
so
getting that event, the target element, and its value property. Sorry, Jess, I interrupted you.
no, literally the exact same thing. So I was like, "Oh, it's going to the event, the target," and then pulling out the value of what we're looking like, what the event is touching.
Yep. Cool. What am I supposed to do?
Um,
Oh, just a console log.
just the console log. Future
Awesome.
steps, we'll use them. Ha
Fantastic. Pat, pat.
ha!
So we'll remove that and we'll reset the content. So player cards dot inner HTML is equals to empty string.
Okay, so just nothing.
Pretty much. Let's try it
Alright.
out.
That empty string is pretty handy.
Hmm. Cool. So now when we set the filter, everything's gone. Not ideal, but I bet, Pat Pat, that we'll find out how to make it even better.
A
A
switch.
switch.
We've
We did this.
done okay, I definitely remember.
So this is kind of like a chained if statement. So we're going to do a switch on that e target value, and I bet we're going to change the filtering accordingly.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep going.
Pop, pop.
So we need a case for
Oh.
nickname. So if we choose nickname, cool. Pat pat.
Oh, if we choose nickname, it should only show folks for whom a nickname is
Filter. Oh, I'm excited. So call the set player cards function, and it'll take as a parameter our filtered player. So players dot filter. Now, remember that filter, similar to map, uses a callback function. So player, and we are going to filter out. Hold on, I'm going to expand this just a touch. We're going to expand out all of the players for whom player.nickname is not null. How does this look, Jess?
set okay, so switch. We're what we're looking at in this switch is the value of the target of the event. Cool, cool, cool. And
Yeah.
then this nickname case.
Hmm.
So set player cards, filter on player, and then this arrow variable, this arrow function is saying player.nickname.
Yeah.
Okay,
So what it's
okay.
doing here is saying like, hey, if this player.nickname is truthy, keep it in. If it's
Okay.
not truthy, i.e. it's null, filter it out.
So got it. Got a filter saying, hey, if this condition's met, like if the
Yeah,
thing like, yeah, go ahead and show me player.nickname
correct.
or
So
keep.
let's try it out. So we, for example, Sergio here. These two don't have nicknames. Okay, Ricardo Boccini will stay in. Let's try it out. So nicknames. Check it out. Ricardo Boccini's there. Claudio Borghi. Jose Luis Brown.
Oh, a lot of these folks have
Okay.
like cute little nicknames, which I
Uh,
understand is not the point.
I don't know. I don't know if the same in Argentina. In at least in Chile, that's what I. That's like a cute way of calling your grandfather. Calling your grandfather Tata.
Tata.
Yeah, it's like grandpa.
I like the grand captain.
El gran capitán. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. No, we want to check more specifically that player nickname is not null. So
Okay.
player.nickname
Can we use
not
our yeah,
equals
exclamation point
null.
equal null.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm not.
So this gives us the
But
NAs. So I bet we're gonna
oh,
fix that.
hold
I
on.
bet we're gonna fix that.
No, the page got reset.
Oh, okay.
Chi for Q. I'm gonna bookmark that question because I don't know right off the top of my head, but we're gonna find out. Oh, no, wait, I do know. Difference between inner text and text content. It includes um the text content of the children of the element and the children's children of the element.
Which
Whereas text,
includes inner text
I don't know.
includes. Oh,
I don't know which one of the two, but which one, sorry, one of them does all of the text content of all of the children elements all the way down to the later descendants, and the other one doesn't, I
okay.
think. We will
Let's split
find
our
out.
attention. You on this. I'm going to look this up in the docs and I'll bring it back. So, Kai, this is a
Thank
super
you.
good question. One of us kind of knows, and the other one is going to cheat.
Not cheating. I love it. Cool. So that's done. We'll have our little break. That means that the case statement ends there, and we'll keep going. Next, we'll add a case for forward. Did it wrong? Case forward. So inside this case, call the set players set player cards. Oh, we're going to do filtering again. Ah, thank you, Jess. I'm going to do another filter here. So player.position equals forward. Okay, we're going to filter out all of the players who are not, that do not have the position forward. And we'll have a break at the end. So, position forward. Nice. So there we have all of the players. Oh, Jess, I'm sorry, you're muted. If you like, I couldn't hear you for a bit.
No, I'm intentionally muted because I'm just making excited sounds where it's like, it works. So, these case is like, so we could have as many different cases as we wanted.
Correct.
And what we're doing is by using case and filter and say, hey, when I've asked for something that doesn't apply to everyone,
Yep.
only give me those folks. So we're really very
Yeah.
literally filtering.
Correct.
Hey.
Pat pat. I bet we're gonna do one for the other positions now. Yeah. Jess, we can, you know what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Look, I was already there. But stop, 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 stop. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I'm going to stop you.
I'm stopped.
There's only 47 steps in this. And if we do every single one, it's not going to, yeah.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Can I finish this one?
You can.
Thank you.
Um, I like that
I got
suddenly
excited.
I'm the boss. Like
No,
anything where
it's
you get to
good. We're
copy and paste. Just so that y'all have like 2 little babby ones to do on your own.
cool.
And like this, they're even the copy and paste ones. These can't hurt y'all.
Let's hop out then.
Yeah. Let's get
So we
the
got these 3 steps
questions.
left.
Just
And then on
3.
Monday
Just
we'll start
3.
with oh, next week we're gonna do local storage. Oh, I'm excited.
So, learners, I'll ask you first. What do we think local storage might mean?
Yeah.
If you were
And
with
what
us for the web boot camp, we talked about like a local copy of your files. Like when you're writing HTML and CSS, sometimes you save them locally
mm,
to your device. What do we think local might be? And what might be the opposite of local? Sorry.
you're totally good. Um, let's do that Q&A then.
Yeah. I'm also really excited. Oh, okay. So Monica has a really, really good guess. Local variables might mean like local scope within a function. And it's the same
Mhm.
kind of vibe, but a much, much more like physical. So
Yeah.
here, local is going to mean it's saved to a device instead of sent to somebody else's server. I'm super excited about this because local storage is something that privacy weirdos are really excited about. So if you send information to a server, you're really sending it to somebody else's computer. Lots of times with really private information, you want to be able to keep it just in the web app on your device. Or sometimes, if somebody, there's a lot of web applications that work even when they're not connected to the internet. And local storage really powers this. Is saying, hey, save this, but on somebody's browser only and only on their device. We'll definitely talk more about it Monday. I'm super excited about it. So
Awesome. Okay. Let's bring in Kai for Q's question. Is there a significant difference between inner text and text content? Now, first I'm going to bring up that article that Jess referred, which looks amazing. Let's look at inner text. Now let's read it together if you're fine with that. So this property, inner text, focuses on the rendered text content. When you use inner text to read the content of an element, it returns the text as it appears on the screen. It ignores HTML tags, and it also does not include text that is hidden with CSS styles. When you need to account for styles, you should consider using inner text. Modifying the inner text of an element means the browser may need to adjust the layout to accommodate the changes in text size, which can have performance implications.
So
The text
inner text
content,
when I need
sorry,
to inner text when I need to take styles into consideration.
correct. The text content property also ignores HTML tags and returns only text, while inner text reads text as it is rendered on the screen. Text content reads text as it is on the markup. It also returns all text whether it's rendered on screen or not.
Okay.
Now,
So
yeah,
inner text feels a little smarter,
yeah,
um, but that's only because it includes the styling. So like, hey, inner text is like, hey, let me interact with this text the way that I am able to visually experience it with the styles included.
yeah,
Whereas text content's like, look, I care about what's in this text, whether or not it's visually available or screen reader available to my user.
yeah.
Oh,
Perfect.
cool.
I hope what you're getting here is, I hope the impression you're getting here is like, it looks like you might want to stick to inner text just from context because, and like not worry too much about which one to use when. Maybe when one's not working, use the other. Yeah. Let's look at Eric's question because I think it's a good one. Can you repeat what
Yeah.
E does? I don't get it. So, hand on my heart, I don't like calling it E. I like
But
calling it event because it is, yeah, sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say, remember how because I was chuckling a little bit because when we did, for loops, we got the exact same
Yeah,
question where folks are like, "Wait, what is I?" And when
yeah,
I was first learning about JavaScript, I'm like, "What is I and why do I keep seeing it? Is it the same variable every time? What's going on
yeah,
here?" And my unhelpful answer is E is the same as I in that it's an easily repurposed E, variable that usually stands for the same thing, but it's the event.
exactly. And from context, that event comes from the event that we're listening for. Okay. So we're, what we're doing is we're calling an event, we're adding an event listener to the player's drop down list. That event is called change. When that event gets triggered, we call a callback. That callback can give us an event object which contains information about the event that just took place. One example of that is, what's the target element that just got evented? We know from context that it's this dropdown, but our code doesn't know that. So this event gives us access to which target, which element we just interacted with, which event, which element we just evented with. Does that make sense? Oh, Oh,
Oh,
fantastic. Um, yeah, so cool. Now that we have access,
oh wait, hang on.
Mitch is
So
asking, yeah,
target here is a property of E.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's fair. We're saying the event, its target. So the oh gosh, I like I'm thinking like there's a children's song about the old woman who swallowed a fly, and it's kind of like this: the
yeah.
target of the target of the event, and then so yeah, the target that belongs to the event. Wait, what was it? What was the last one?
Sorry. Value?
The value. Okay, so the value of the target of the event. So
Yeah.
here the of is belonging to the value that belongs to the target that belongs to the event.
Yeah. I wrote some comments here in case they're helpful. E is a change event that does what that took place when we interacted with our dropdown. E.target is the HTML element that we just interacted with, the dropdown. E.target.value is a value that was selected in that dropdown. Same thing when we do a click listener, E.target gives us a button. So Mitch is saying all E's will have a target, but that value is from our HTML code. I would more specifically put it with all E's have a target, yes, but the value comes from that target itself. So it's not from the HTML code because look, let's go over to HTML code. The value is in the options, right? But you know what? Let's try something else. Let me put an input here. Type text.
Okay.
ID equals in text. Sorry, I'm not really going to win an award for best HTML here. Now, let's go back to our script real quick.
Okay.
So let me write it out here. Const input equals document get element by ID text. Now, const no input dot add event listener change e console log e dot target dot value. Okay, so what I've done here is I've made a variable to access that input element and added an event listener so that when that input, this text, changes, it's going to console log the event target, which is the input's value. Let's try it out.
Okay.
You get to see any of that? Sorry, I got blocked
No,
out.
no, no. Everything's chill.
So I've done it here. Hello, friends. Now I'm going to click outside. There it is, console logged.
Okay.
Is E always used when there's an add event listener? Since is it
E's
always
just
used?
a name. E's like E could be anything. It's
I prefer to
just
call it event.
often used. So I had this exact same thing when I first saw I's in for loops. I was like, why is it an I? What does I stand for? What is I doing? E here is just a name that's commonly used.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
so E
so
can be, but it could be called event. It could be called thingy. It could be called banana.
yeah, it doesn't have to be called E. So Mehmet's asking, is a function parameter, we can always use it, right? You can always use it in the context of an event because we have an event listener here. This parameter is just like this event is this this event is just like filter players filter player dot nickname. This player can be anything we want to call it. As Mitch says, E is just a generic placeholder parameter. Monica's saying, I've seen exception as capital E. They're commonly used as names for events and exception. When there's errors. Well, we haven't done errors yet. I usually see error as ERR.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Oh, please.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to make it worse, but.
Yeah.
Oh, so the thing that's really, really hard about these, and the thing I'm going to keep bringing up, and whether or not it's useful, is these are just common ways that people tend to name them. So any variable can be named anything. The only reason the naming here matters is that other people often do it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and y'all are going to hate me for this. You are, over your JavaScript writing careers, going to find code bases where they call it, I don't know, event listened for in the context of change or whatever. Does that make it a best practice? No. Does E make it a best practice? No. Does event call it a best practice? No. Consistency is important. Legibility
So
as well. This is a horrible name, but you know
Mitch
what I
has
mean.
got us. Cool. It's sort of a generic placeholder parameter that folks often use when talking about events. And Monica's asking, okay, so can we only return an event? Oh, can we only return the target of an event with target when event listener? Can we do something that's not the target of the event? Can we say when the event happens, do something instead of give me
I'm
the
not sure
target?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So
Don't-
Monica's
We're not
saying,
returning the event variable here.
no. Um, so Monica's asking, is it only when you can return the event variable with dot target when an event listener is called?
But we're not
So
returning it.
we're not returning it. Monica, can you ask this in a different way, my love? I'm so sorry. I think
Yes.
I've gotten this confusing.
No. You like you're both good. I think I'm just I think I have Friday brain. Um,
So one thing I would ask, so I'm gonna ask the question I had in my heart. So
please.
we've said, hey, this event instead of E, it's cool. They're
Yeah.
just placeholders.
Yeah.
We've used it to say, show me the target of the event, but we can do different
No, the
stuff.
target
So
value.
the value of the target, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that. So I could say, hey, um, so I could say when the event is changed, when this is changed, change the background color to pink. We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Sure.
doesn't have
Sure.
to like look at the value of the target.
The event doesn't have to be involved here. In fact, that's what we've done before. We've
Okay.
done this before when working with event listeners. We don't have to use the event. We just have access to it because when this event takes place, within the scope of that callback when that event took place, answering your question, Monica, it's a placeholder parameter, not a variable called event, but we only call the target or value of that parameter within an event listener. Yeah, because outside event doesn't exist. I hope y'all
Okay.
can see this. Hold on. Yeah, you can. See? Error, because event doesn't exist. But within the scope of this callback, here's what happens. When this event takes place, this function will be called with this parameter, right? To give us an overview of what took place in that event that we listened for. So when this takes place, hey, yeah, I want to use that event. I'm going to use it. I'm going to access it through this parameter. Cool. Let me console log event.target. Blah, 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 blah. Empty.
Bloody
Well,
blah
that's
being
not
very, very
helpful.
technical.
Oh, yeah. Let's make it a little bit more specific. It's an object. Cool. Yeah. So, Mehmet says, as I understand it, an event is an object that contains many useful properties or methods. That's much better summarized than I could have ever hoped for. Thank you, Mehmet.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna call it. I am sending us I'm going to uh oh heck, so last one. So we can only see these properties within the event listener.
Let me be a little bit more specific, Monica. We can only see those properties within the event listener's callback. So we only have access to it in this callback when that event got triggered. Yeah? So only when that event is triggered can we take a look, because otherwise no event took place. How could we possibly access it? But here we have our event. We can interact with it. The event took place. This function got called. And I'm sorry to be like super like specific and pedantic about when that takes place, but I just want to like make sure 100% what an event listener does is when this type of event takes place on this element, call this function. Here's an overview of the data that took place when that event took place. Do whatever you want with it. As Mitch says, event is scoped to the block of code of event listener. Yep. Event listeners call back. No, I'm going to keep being pedantic. Of the callback in that event. Yeah.
Also, I got your back. If this doesn't make sense, no, everything's fine. I was gonna say,
No,
if this
you're
doesn't make
good.
sense, the homework I'm giving folks, which is not homework, is go and chill for a little while, and then just have a little bit of a ponder, and then maybe try this in different ways. So just take the code and do different stuff with it and have a think. If it breaks, it's going to break in educational ways. And going away and letting stuff marinate for a little while is gonna make it make a lot more sense in the long run, I promise.
Great.
All right, homework. Please chill. Chill
I'm going to
and chill.
chill.
I know a bunch of people work weekends. I know a bunch of people have things in their life that they've gotta do. In as much as your life supports you to, chill.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, my
See you on
loves.
Monday.
Monday.